So I haven't posted a video in a while, just based off of work on the backyard and still a few things that we need to touch up on. Most people were talking about heat and umbrellas. So one of the things that we started working on this year that I always knew that was going to be done was the umbrellas. It just took a little longer than expected. I put out a 30-foot umbrella that had to have 2 feet of concrete and rebar anchored to the ground, and it just took longer than expected to build it, finish it, and complete it with the matching stone. So we ended up putting one on the other side of the backyard, but really we ended up putting one over here for barbecue area as well as the pond. So just try to give you an update on the pond. We're now coming into 90 degrees in Vegas. It happened 3 days ago. It was the hottest day in 211 days. So certainly we're hot right now, or warming up, I'm sorry. But I did start feeding the koi Sakai growth. And right now I'm doing about 4 of these a day. This is a full red cup, just your standard barbecue party cup. And just because they didn't have large pellets, I took what I can get off this last 30 pounds and did medium pellets. So I'm doing about 4 of those a day right now. And again, we started putting up shade. Hasn't gotten too hot. Obviously, we're not in the hundreds yet, but I wanted to have shade covering. Not so much for the predators, but more so the heat. Even though it's seven feet deep, and I'm pulling a lot of water, and I have most oxygen comes at night. Reason for that is there's a few reasons. One of the main reasons is water doesn't evaporate as much. So if you have a timer on a pond and you have control of your aeration, mostly your aerators and your bubblers, then you want to do it at night. During the day, it's going to evaporate more so, and it's just one of those things that you want to keep control of. It doesn't really change so much the price on my water bill, but if you could just think of how to be conservative in the pond, turning aerators on at night is a common sense. I've been doing big flush outs with the pond, cleaning this area up here. You know, I've got 3 valves that are coming up in here that you can see that are pulling water, and those pull water right now from the big 500-gallon pre-filter in the background. That's pulling water up there and sucking the water back in through water weight at the bottom of this area with 3 valves. They're all 4-inch. And then I've got obviously the little spill. There's a little debris there, but for the most part, as you can see, you know, there's the polyurea. I mean, it's sprayed right next to it with the tile, you know, laid over it, and it's completely cleaned. You know, there's some areas here with debris, but for the most part, you know, right there, that's going back into the mid-water returns. Right in here, about halfway between the water and the bottom of the surface. I had to get umbrellas. It was time, so I put the fish in last August, and it was hot, but I got them in as soon as I could. And right now, you know, again, it takes a couple years to learn about equipment. It takes a couple years to learn about pond and how your equipment's running and your biofilters, and kind of it learns you and you learn it, as weird as it sounds. So last year I've really been trying to understand how this equipment runs, how it works, the right time to flush, the right time to change, and so I haven't really fed a lot. Even though some of the fish look really big, I haven't fed a lot. This year is going to be a big year for me to really pound the heavy food. I don't see the water getting green. I don't see the equipment overworking itself. So far in the last year, I've seen a really consistent, clean pond. There's probably 17, 18 fish in there, and they've been able to do a really good job and thrive in there. No flashing, knock on wood, no stress. Obviously, you'll get your little things with bacteria between fall and winter and spring and summer, or fall and spring, but I haven't seen anything too bad. So this tells me a lot right now that I have no harm or no reason to just really pump in a lot of food. I really want to get a couple pounds a day, maybe a 30-pound bag in 3 weeks. If I can, weigh the food and put it in proportionally. I have a lot of big fish, and I don't think I've even reached their potential and their climax. Everybody says, a lot of books, a lot of videos, and a lot of teaching will say if the food sits for over 5 minutes, take the food pellets out. There's no, I've thrown 2 cups out since I filmed this video, and obviously there's a lot of food everywhere. Within 10 minutes, this food will be gone. They don't leave it. As long as I shut off the skimmers and I don't make the pump and the equipment do work, these fish will eat it. I've never had floating pellets that, it was too much food that I've put in there. So that's telling me right now that I can really start pumping out a lot of food and really start having each one of them benefit in the way that they should, or they have potential to. Again, I'm really happy I put the umbrellas up. Doesn't cover the sitting area, but the way the lot sits, it's east to west during the hottest times of the year. So we'll rise right here, and those two 10-footers, 20 feet total, will cover a majority of this pond during the hottest times of the Vegas summer. Not so much over here, but again, I'm only so far away from my house, and I have to do what I can to not only make it manageable, but make it look right. So I ended up anchoring an umbrella here, and we did a try, and these are really custom industrial. It's something like a casino would have, kind of a canopy. So they're sitting right left of the pond, and they run up and kind of have a lot of room for shade. There's the living room right there. Kitchen windows right there. So I got a good area to view these koi during all times of the day, and they're thriving. They look good. There's no complaints. I have one Goshiki from Coda that needs to get a tumor removed, which is her, by probably the next couple months. I want to wait till her body acclimates to the spring and the activity before trying to put her under shock. Other than that, I just want to pump these fish full of food right now. Bread, wheat, grapes. I've always done it during the last times of the year, July, August. I'm like heavy pumping because it's beginning to be winter. But I'm going to start up a little faster this year. I'm going to really pull the trigger on getting these fish started right away, where I'm not so much power feeding at the end, but trying to power feed through this entire summer, just based on the water conditions, water volume, and the clarity and the thrive and healthiness of these koi. Again, I watch these fish every day, so I know what's best for them. And for me right now, it's a non-stop feeding process. Again, I'm not going to film for this entire period, but you see them all coming up. Within 10 minutes, this food is gone. Pretty soon this pond will be, 85, 90 degrees. Weather's going to be 110, so for me the shade was important, and there's been nothing wrong with this pond. Everything's running super true, and honest to what it should be. My biofilters, my UV lights, it's clean. Everything's clean. Look at that. That's just healthy water. There's no problems. That's coming in from the bottom filters, settling down, and then the skimmers are picking up the cleanest water. And then this is my sand filtration. The only problem I see with this is, and you can see, is gnats. Gnats seem to come here right now. You can see a handful right there, and collect the water and get stuck. I only see it happening for the spring. I live on a golf course, and it's like that in holes that don't have water. And the only reason I can see that is for the temperature change. Once it gets hot enough, I don't see them lasting out here. But we'll see. But overall, as having 16,000 gallons, this pond is running ideally smooth. You know, for having over 100,000 in fish, getting a little spooked right there. The pond is running extremely strong, 7 feet, and we're keeping these things thriving, keeping these things strong. I lift the skimmers up right now because I'm feeding. So once I drop my skimmers, I didn't close the valves, which that's why you could see kind of water coming in there, but I guess that's just being lazy. I could turn them off and put them back in, but like I said, the food will be gone within a few minutes, so there's no reason to do anything other than let them eat. You can see where the pond is adjacent to the jacuzzi, or the day bed. You know, it took up a large percentage of the backyard. There's the sitting area with the fireplace. But I think this year is going to be a good year for these koi. Good year for them to grow big.